So, Michael, I think tonight's questioning is going to be about Murphy's Law and how if it can go wrong at the last possible moment, it will go wrong at the last possible moment.
Yes, that is, you know what? That was going to be my guess as well, given that I'm here. I said the other day that the universe is conspiring to keep this show off of the air. Between my broken arm, like 20 minutes, 10 minutes before showtime, my Scarlett goes out, my audio interface to the computer. And so I'm here on mobile. I have a feeling that there'll be a huge cyber attack and all mobile networks will go down. But here we are for now.
Well, that's something to look forward to, I suppose. All right. Well, he's Mike. I'm Dan. This is In the Blind, and we're going to see if the intro works. Well, that was a good sign. We got through the intro. The music worked. The graphics worked.
Should we like
that I typed in chat that said "we'll be right with you" is actually not there. So
I noticed that. I was going to ask if you actually responded to anybody in chat.
Should we? I mean, this is a dangerous show. This is a dangerous show. People are getting hurt trying to make this show happen. Things are exploding to try and make this show happen.
You know, actually, I have like no chat from anybody. So out in the audience, if you're there, put a 1 in the chat. Because I mean, okay, well, Beth's went through. That's good.
Okay.
But my first message didn't. So
Austin put a 1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
No, I think there was a hiccup with YouTube too, because nothing was like coming through. So weird.
I have a backup Scarlett, but I don't know if it even works anymore.
Well, you're going to find out, I think, after the show.
I think so.
Oh, good heavens. Well, the good news, I guess, before we get started, is that you're going to live and probably without surgery. So congrats on that.
Yes, that is correct. I do have the radial, it's a radial head fracture, the radial bone in the arm. It is fractured, but it is a mild fracture. I should be good as new. Well, I should be back to relative normal 6 to 8 weeks, but probably take a couple more months maybe to be fully functional. But other than that, I will be fine, just in some pain for a little while.
Overall, take the win, my friend.
Come up to Buckeye and do PT with me?
It may just happen. It may happen, Beth. It's very possible.
Probably get a volume discount.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think I told you she's a feisty Filipino woman, so.
Well, so Michelle,
there.
Michelle's mom is a feisty Filipino woman. So I'm used to it.
There you go. All right, we should probably get on with this shindig. So here's how this show works. As the title of the show suggests, In the Blind, Mike and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Producer Beth, sitting across from me, has 2 topics for us tonight. We get 20 minutes each to discuss, debate, unpack it, whatever. And then after we do those, we have a true-false round, which is just wonderful. So definitely stick around for that. It's the best part of the show. Not that the other parts are bad, but that part's really good. And I just realized my studio lights aren't on. So So I'm also not going to look 100% right tonight, but that's okay. Who cares? Let's get on with it. Now. Well, hold on a minute.
Mood lighting.
See,
you can turn yours on.
Here.
I can turn mine off because I don't even need really the green screen. Right? I could just be like, ooh, there we go.
Lights are on, except they're too bright, so we dial them down a notch. There we go. Okay. Professional operation right here.
Hey, look, I'm just happy the show's on the air, okay? Lightning's going to strike here pretty soon.
Well, You didn't forecast rain, so that would screw up your video from earlier today too.
Nobody watched it anyway, Dan. What difference does it make?
Fair enough.
Is it sideways glass rain?
Yes, sideways
Okay.
glass rain.
God, that was terrifying.
Yes, it was. All right, you want to kick us off, Beth?
Yes, you're assuming I'm actually prepared and nothing's gone wrong on my computer, right?
I hope so.
Okay.
If not, we're just gonna vamp for an hour and call
Okay.
it a day.
I'm fine with that.
All right. So, our first cold topic, and remember to start the timer when I'm done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. just trying. All right. I'm trying to help. Okay. Some claims spread so effectively that they become cultural facts repeated in classrooms, media, documentaries, and casual conversation long after evidence has complicated or disproven them. From misunderstood science to oversimplified historical narratives, certain myths persist not because they're accurate, but because they are clean, intuitive, and easy to remember. So the conversation isn't about debunking just for sport. It's about why certain stories stick and why corrections rarely spread as fast as the original myth. So the discussion becomes, why do simple, elegant myths often outperform complex, nuanced truths?
Well, my initial reaction to that would be because sheeple are real and because the victors write the history.
Yes.
That is where I would start with things. You, Michael?
That's pretty much where I was going to go as well. No surprise. Because, I mean, it's more than just people or sheeple. It's that, especially nowadays, I think I talked about it on our other show, Sidebar, the other day. We have never had more access to information in this culture than we do right now. And yet, we are perhaps more ignorant than ever as a culture. I mean, how many times does someone make a claim online that is just so nonsensical that can be easily refuted with a simple search and a simple or just a simple posting of historic fact, or just quoting even from a book, and yet people will just not bother. And then when you do show them, they just say, well, that's fake, or they just they double down, or they'll try to find some source that says their thing is right, even though it's from trustmebro.net. It's like, well, sometimes it's weird. We've gotten into this weird area that of pride, and they say pride cometh before the fall, where no one can admit they're wrong. And that's how a lot of the cultural myths spread. And then there's just some people that like to be contrarians and trolls. We have that element also. You can show people the Earth is round. It's an oblate spheroid, all you want. But there's some people that are going to say it's flat because they really believe that. Some people want to just say it's flat because they're trolling you. They know it's not, but they just want to see your reaction. Some people just aren't sure because they're that uneducated. That's one of those claims that is out there, that there are actually legitimately people that believe it.
Yes.
I don't know how, but they do.
They do. And by the way, you might want to check this one out. It's a little more reliable. Trustmebro.ru.
Are you?
It's much better.
The Russian
Please
site,
trust. You do trust Mother Russia. How could you possibly go wrong? And trustmebro.biz, because business is always trustworthy.
It sure is.
have to throw this out there, the flat earther thing. I've seen this floating around as a humorful response, and it stuck with me, that if the earth was actually flat, all the cats would have pushed everything off of
Right.
it by now.
Yes.
So so it can't be flat.
Yeah, fact check true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Story checks out.
It does. I think a lot of the issue with claims becoming facts is first off, we're taught in such a way early on to not challenge things. If you think about how a lot of schools operate and how a lot of classes work, you're just told stuff. And if you question stuff, you become a troublemaker.
Yeah.
So that's discouraged. So that's the first problem.
Yep.
But then as you move on, because you've kind of learned that, actually challenging something becomes work. It becomes difficult. And especially in Western society, we get fat and we get lazy. That's what Western society has created. So we're not going to take the time to question things. We're just going to run with it, especially if it has a good, memorable rhyme or something to go with it. Like in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Everybody remembers that, and it sticks with you. And in my opinion, that sort of thing would make it even harder for somebody to challenge because it becomes so ingrained,
Yeah. Yay! Don't you remember the rhyme? He said the ocean blue. It didn't say nothing about pillaging and doing terrible stuff to them people. That word that we can't say on YouTube nowadays. But it's there's a lot of things that just become part of our culture that we indoctrinate into children, and that myth becomes fact. Urban legends become fact. It's hard to get out once it's there. Eventually it's going to be that. I don't know. 9/11 was caused by aliens from the planet Zabus. Who
I'm not ruling that out.
It might be the planet with that sideways drain. You never know.
Ooh,
Well, I mean,
be.
I suppose it could be. That's, and they're just telling us of the impending destruction. They were trying to warn us, but they miscalculated their warning beacons, and it just caused chaos on Earth. That who knows? You know what I mean? It's one of these things where, and I think the other thing is, I think we just live in conspiracy culture too, where people just love conspiracies and they'd rather think that something more fantastical is happening and that they're the ones that are part of that. They're on that train of, no, I actually know the real story. It goes back to my thing that, everybody wants to have superpowers. Everybody thinks they're a psychic or they're a idiot savant of some kind, or they have some sort of special ability. And they want to be in on that. And I think that's part of what we have going on right now. It's a broader, deeper dive into this topic, I think that's what's going on. I think that's where we're at.
In reality, if if they just dropped the word savant, they'd be spot on. But here's the thing though, Mike, this isn't a new phenomenon. I mean, we're looking at it in the moment, and we can point at all of the things with how we communicate and stuff that kind of feeds this, but it's a problem since time began.
Yes.
I come at this as a person who has belief in God. I believe that Jesus was a real man. I believe he died for us and he rose again. All that having been said, there is very good evidence out there that what we have in the Bible is not complete because many books were left out. So the thing was put together by committee, and there is also evidence out there that certain characters were recast. There is evidence in other writings that Mary Magdalene was not the whore that she was made out to be, but rather she was his wife.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But we all believe what the Bible says because that's the story, that's the book that's been passed on forever. But is it right? because the thing I struggle with is I have my faith and I have my belief, and I will not step off of it. That having been said, this was a book that was compiled by men, and flawed men at that.
Well, right. I mean, men are flawed. If you believe what the Bible says, that men are flawed, that only God is perfect, or then obviously each time the Bible has been rewritten, if you will, each version of the Bible, there's bound to be mistakes that are made in it, because men make mistakes. It may be the word of God, but it may also be the word of God with an infusion of man, and that's going to make the message different.
Well, the message differs just in translations too. An example: after Jesus rises from the dead, he meets with Peter, and he tells Peter that he loves him and he wants Peter to go feed his flock, so lead the church. But he tells Peter, in the original Greek, he says that his love, he uses the word agape, which is an unconditional love. So in the English translation, it's "I love you, Peter," and Peter responds back, "I love you too." What really happens is that Peter says, Jesus says, "I love you" unconditionally, and Peter comes back with, "I love you, but not at that level." He comes back with brotherly love, not unconditional, because there's different words in Greek and in other languages.
There's 4.
Yeah, but here in English, we've got the one word trying to have all these multiple meanings. So even just in translation, nuance gets lost and completely changes the story. In the original writings, Peter's mad. He loves Jesus, but he's not happy with him because he left them. And Peter felt abandoned. And that was the whole point of the words that he chose. But in the original English, in the translated English, rather, all that nuance is lost.
And this is
so that's a factor too.
And so, and people will say, "Well, you guys are talking about the Bible, and that ain't real." But here's the thing: like, I'm the resident agnostic here. Okay, so I don't take every single word, letter for letter, in the Bible as a truth. However, I think I look at it as there are obviously some parts of the Bible that are true, and then there's parts of it that are either, human embellished, the game of telephone, if you will. And then there's parts of it that are there that serve as a moral lesson, Aesop's fable, so to speak. Like there's wisdom to be taken from it. Whether it's true or not doesn't really matter. So there's 3 components, just from the agnostic's viewpoint, and that's when we bring it back to the main conversation about things in society that are called true when they're not, or things that are just accepted as truths even if they're myths. And someone's going to say, well, the Bible is entirely a myth. I would not say that. I would just say that there's parts, and then what happens is then there's man's own perversion of what they read in a Bible or any religious text, and they pervert that for their own ends and their own gains, or to justify their own behaviors. And that's where,
the ends justify the means.
Right. And so, and then when that happens, and because most wars are started over resources, religious differences, money, or screwing somebody else's wife or husband. I mean, that's basically what all human wars come down to. And then when history is written, if it's a religious thing, the texts are rewritten. If it's about, money or resources, well, it's actually, they promised us this, and, the victor go the spoils and go the rewrite of the history. So that's ultimately, I think, how that plays out. So that's why I think it's this is one of those times where bringing in religious text is very much applicable here.
Yeah, well, because we can learn from it.
Right.
And we can, man is very circular. We make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Whether it be in how we learn or don't learn, how we handle our relationships, how we handle our politics, all of it. We just, we keep turning left, and as a result, we keep going in a circle. And that is the history of man right there.
We're all very much just on that big old NASCAR track. So,
pretty much.
Yes.
And I'll point out, it's not just go in a circle, it's also advertised stuff now, because if you look at our shirts, we've got corporate stuff emblazoned all over them most of the time.
We do. Had I been on, my normal setup, this is one day where I'm not actually wearing anything, but, oftentimes even I have something. We all have something. It's we're billboards for something, sometimes whether we realize it or not.
Yeah. Beth shows me that she's wearing a Super Mario shirt right now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to get my Joe's House of Meth shirt.
I still got to put that in the store over at the other channel.
I'm going to go pick it up from Weird Steve's house.
Making a note.
Yes. I don't know why all my smart-ass comments eventually turn out to be merch, but I think that's just how it is. It's my, I sort of accidentally, yes, it's one thing. It's one of the few things I'm good at, I suppose. But hey, at least I'm good at something.
Well, somebody has to drive the merch machine.
Yeah. Well, that's sometimes how the best stuff gets done, and that's it's funny because that's also how history gets rewritten too. Is somebody like me makes some wise ass comment, and then someone else will say, "Well, wait, what about that?" And pretty soon the "what about that" turns into, "Oh yeah, no, that actually happened." And I mean, that's just. It's amazing how that goes on again in our culture. So I don't know. This is one of those things that I don't know. There's not really a solution. I mean, I would say the solution is more education, right? But we've never had more education and more knowledge available to humankind than we do now. I am talking to you, unfortunately, well, either if I'm on my computer or phone, it doesn't matter. They're all computers. I mean. I can press a button and get it basically infinite knowledge that we have accumulated through all of time on this planet. And yet people will still spew that they think that some wispy clouds in the air are created by planes spraying chemicals on us. I had to get a dig in on the chemtrails people. But
well, yeah, Mike, of course they are.
Yeah.
Get yourself educated, man.
Yeah, of course, because it makes sense. And and that's another thing where there's this group of pilots that just decided to have some fun with the chemtrails people. So they made these a dummy video about, oh yeah, this tank here can hold 250 gallons of aluminum oxide and whatever. They just list off these chemicals, and then they label a button in the plane, like chemtrail switch, like off on, and they just troll the but they take that as real and they show that as being real, and it's fascinating. It's so that's why people will just, whatever their own agenda is, they will find whatever it is that they want to perpetuate it, and it's remarkable.
So I have one, well, it's actually two questions, but we only have a little bit of time. Do you think that the increased Hollywood production value of sci-fi plays into some of this as well? Some of the myths that then become some people's version of truth?
Sci-fi is pretty broken right now. So not new sci-fi, no, because new sci-fi is nothing more than
Than old
current
sci-fi.
culture in space.
That's fair.
That's all they're doing now.
And my other question was going to be, this was probably around long before it actually had a name, but things like the Mandela effect.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's
Well,
Where people are fully sure that what they remember is a different version than what other people remember.
This is another topic for another time, but I am not 100% sold that the Mandela effect is not something real. Because I would tend to buy into the multiverse theory. I always have. And, who's to say that there aren't times when the veil between the worlds gets a little thin and you see the other side, and that's how you remember something different. I don't know.
my buddy Sean, rest his soul. He was convinced. I was on a podcast with him about 7 or 8 years ago, and he talked me into at least somewhat leaning into the idea that the Mandela effect was real. I was totally not on board with it at first, and over the next hour or so, I kind of got swayed at least a little bit. So I don't know. That is another topic for another day, but an interesting one nonetheless.
One thing I want to bring up, if I may, before we move on real quick, because I wanted to get this in. Michael, you said that we need like better education.
Yeah.
I would reframe that personally, and I would say we don't need better education. We need better wisdom.
True.
The wisdom to challenge things, the wisdom to know that you need to go figure out things on your own and not just take what you're given as education blindly.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be my only point.
I know, I would agree with that.
Good topic.
Okay.
It is.
Now I kind of want to do the multiverse thing at some point.
All right. We can look at that.
I think it'd be cool. All right.
Yeah.
So are you guys ready to transition into the next topic?
I'm scared.
I just reset the timer, so we're good.
Okay. So what's interesting about modern myths is that they rarely survive on their own. Like we talked about, they persist because people repeat them, defend them, teach them, and sometimes even build their own identities around them, which fully goes into our next topic. Throughout history, there have been moments where large groups of intelligent people collectively believe things that, in hindsight, seem improbable, exaggerated, or outright false. From medical anomalies and courtroom superstitions to financial bubbles and cultural panics, these moments weren't driven by stupidity. They were often reinforced by authority figures, social pressure, and the human instinct to align with perceived consensus. So the conversation isn't about mocking the past. It's about understanding the psychological mechanisms that make collective belief powerful, even when evidence is thin. So the real question is, how do authority, social proof, and psychological bias shape what groups are willing to believe?
Read that last part again, please.
How do authority, social proof, and psychological bias shape what groups are willing to believe?
Well, so
That's not softball.
that's not.
You guys got quiet.
Well, because
I'm trying to wrap my brain around it.
so unfortunately, I think the problem is that because Dan said it right at the start. We're sheep. A lot of folks are sheep. Michelle always uses the word sheep to describe people too. It's an interesting choice of words because people defer to, especially nowadays, and let's really just be blunt about it. We have become a tribal society. Okay. Politically, sociologically, And so people defer to the authority that they back, whether it's Republican, Democrat, whether it's celebrity, whether it's whatever. And they said, oh, Oprah says this, or, Trump says that, or Obama says this, and so because that's their guy or their gal or their science or their religion or whatever, people will perpetuate something because that person or that group says it. It becomes a group think type of thing. And then some people, because they're sheep, they're like, yeah, that sounds good. I don't want to rock the boat here. I'm just going to go ahead and go along with that. So they do. And inevitably that's what winds up happening. People sort of default to that. And then the people that don't, the people that challenge that, well, they're often the outliers and the outcasts, and even though ultimately they may be proven to be correct, that's neither here nor there in the moment, is it? I mean, so I don't know. That's kind of how I see this.
Well, you asked about how authority shapes the bias. I think it was different then than it is now. I think then
being further back
in the
history?
past,
Okay.
yeah, I think then authority shaped belief through fear, because you don't want to go against the guy with the army,
Yeah.
the guy who's in charge. I think now it's shaped more through laziness.
I think it depends on what country you're in. There are Okay.
I'm talking more Western kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, obviously there's still some play with that. We go to different countries go to North Korea. North Korea, everybody's in line, and it's fear. It's become
Yes.
a cult of personality. And no matter how much they say, oh, he's the greatest leader, we believe in him, he's like a god. No, you're scared.
Yeah.
But I think in Western society, I think it's just a matter of laziness that has kind of brought this along. So you look toward whatever the power is, and you go, that has to be right. I'm going to get behind that. Why? Because it's easy. And we're all kept so busy doing so many other things that we're seeking out whatever it is that is easy, and we can't put this other thing on our plate. So we give it off to somebody else, and we just say, yeah, we'll go with that. And,
Outsourcing our thinking.
yeah,
Is what you mean.
That's just it. That's
Well,
a great way to put it.
Yes. And what happens is it's very easy for people to be manipulated when they're like that, because it becomes a culture of fear and a culture of a political leader, for example, doesn't have to take accountability if they can find a scapegoat that people can latch onto for why things are the way they are. Even if it has nothing or very little to do with why things are the way they are, they'll blame that. They'll say, well, it's not my fault. It's this group, or it's that group, or it's the guy that was here before me, the lady that was here before me, or and because we're a tribalist culture, there's a group of people that will always believe that. There's a group of people that will always not believe it. And then there's people in the middle that kind of are the ones that ultimately kind of the non-sheep, that are kind of the independent thinkers, that will be like, well, I got to look into this, but it's hard to look into every claim that's made by everybody, because most of us have lives. We believe it or not. I mean, I don't know what that's like, but there are actually people that have lives. They have 9-to-5 jobs. They have families and kids, and they have a lot of outside interests, and they don't have time to sit down and fact check absolutely everything and look up absolutely everything. So there's just some people that just carry around the healthy skepticism, and they don't know until they can look it up, and who knows when they'll get around to that. so that's what drives a lot of what happens. This ties in very well with the last topic because it's one and the other is really what it is.
So I thought of two recent examples just now that I think are worth exploring or at least acknowledging.
Yeah.
And into your concept of like I forget how you phrased it. I don't know if you used like the word cult of personality or how you phrased it, but the idea that you'll just follow what the leader says, whatever leader you prescribe to.
Yeah.
Let's go back to COVID. Trump is in office. The vaccine comes out.
Yep.
Trump followers are like, yay, let's do this. And everybody who is anti-Trump is like, I'm not taking that thing. That's a Trump thing. I'm not going to do it. And that's how it broke until after the election and Biden got into office. And then on a dime, it switched.
Yes.
And everybody who was a Biden follower is like, oh, you got to take this thing. You're going to lose your job if you don't. This just has to happen. And all the Trump people are like, hey, wait a minute. We need to take a look at this thing.
Bill Gates is involved in that, and they're injecting nanites in you, and they're going to control your brain, dude. Trustmebro.com. But
it flipped overnight.
It was so fast. It boggled the mind. People were that's a damn, if there was ever a better, more modern example of how tribal we are, I don't think I've heard it. That is like chef's kiss as the best example I could think of.
Well, this might not be better, but it's equally controversial and equally true. Elon Musk. Everybody loves that guy. They love his product. He's great for the environment. He's wonderful. Great.
Yeah.
The left thinks he is God until he decides that he likes Trump.
Yeah.
And now he's the most horrible person on the planet. He's a big baby. He's a moron.
Sure.
His product is shit.
Yeah.
All of this stuff, again, on a dime. Because you're not thinking for yourself. You're lining up to what the big guy at the top of your party or your group or your whatever thinks. So those are just two real world right now examples.
Sure.
Of people not thinking. Two things can be true at once.
Yeah.
You like with the Musk thing, you can think that Tesla's a great product, but not like Elon's politics.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep.
Buy the product if you like the product, And, with the vaccine, you could question how it was made and try to figure out if it's right for you, consult your doctor, but not necessarily agree with the guy who was in office when it was invented or the guy who inherited it. What's the difference? Figure it out. Does it work for you?
And this is why I abandoned political parties a long time ago. I was a registered libertarian when I turned 18. So but then I became an independent and because I just can't ascribe to any one side of anything. It's funny because now I'm just thinking of all these different examples. The Republicans were always the anti-government, don't trust the government party. They were always hey, let's, we have to question everything the government does. And now they're like big pro-government. It's, and then, the Democrats were the opposite. They're like, the government's good. It's at least in some form, we should, but now they're like, nope, nothing government. Let's all get guns. They're like anti-gun, guns kill everybody. And now they're like, well, we better go get some guns, guys, because this is getting sideways. It's like, and it's not just politics, it's society too. It's like, I don't know if I've ever seen a time where people's beliefs just change so quickly. And it's not to say that people can't change their mind and don't. I think as you grow, I know I don't believe the same things now that I did 25 years ago. Your experiences should shape how you are. That's That's growing up. That's maturing. But just to change because your buddies change, or because the guy that you align with politically changes, or because the guy you align with politically or socially says that party is bad, or that religion is bad, or whatever, that now you're a part of the problem, because it's your. And you always, at least for me, I don't know how everybody else feels, but whenever somebody is pointing the finger and saying that group of people is bad, and hey, pay attention to that, I'm always wondering, hey, what are they trying to distract me from?
Yeah.
You know, all the time.
Like what are we being distracted from? Why? Like, hey, I realize Iran isn't, the greatest country on the planet. Why are we looking at them all of a sudden? They've been around just doing their thing and being who they are for the last 40 years. Why suddenly the attention when there's some other stuff kind of going on at home? I don't know. And you can say that for anything. It's like, why? It's always hey, no, pay attention over here. Pay no attention to what's happening over there. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yep. So I always kind of, in the back of my mind, I'm the guy that always carries the skepticism, and maybe I'm called a cynic for it, or, Mike, you doubt everything, but I don't doubt everything. I just always want to ask questions. And I think asking questions, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we talked about religion. I don't think, if you don't ask questions, I don't think you have a good faith. I don't think you can be a person of a strong faith if you can't at least ask some questions, both internally and externally. And sometimes you're not going to get the answers you want, and that's okay. I think, and I'm coming at it from a person of science. Sometimes I've looked into something and I've thought, hey, I'm expecting to find this, and then I wind up finding that, and I say, oh, well, that changes my thinking a little bit here. And I think if people were just willing to say, you know what, man, my bad, I was wrong about that, this place would be a lot better.
Nobody does that anymore, though. I will say the accountability portion has completely disappeared from society.
Yeah.
In every facet. It's not just people higher up. It's even within a family dynamic. It seems like,
oh, sure.
And there's exceptions, but for the most part, nobody wants to say, oh, sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody doubles down.
Just look at Mike. Just look at the comments section of our own channels. and people will get off on this tangent, and they just refuse to let it go, no matter how much you push back, how much fact you give them. They won't back down.
It is remarkable, isn't it? I mean, it's and I have had. Twitter is the place. If you want to find where people are the most dug in onto a side, and it doesn't matter what the topic, it could be the biggest political issue or the smallest thing, pepperoni versus cheese pizza. People will they dig in. Nobody listens to the other side. You can show them all. I can't tell you how many times I've responded to people with just endless amounts of data. And they'll be like, yeah, but, and then they'll just say, yeah, but you're stupid. Or, yeah, but, you know what, some guy, Dude Bro 976X57BBQ says this, and I kind of trust that person more.
Didn't we go to that restaurant the other day, BQ74X5BBQ?
Yeah.
I think we did.
Good brisket. So I don't know, man. There's a lot. This is just one of those things that again, not that we're looking for the solution necessarily, because I don't know if there is one. We've become and maybe we've always been this way and I just didn't realize it until now, but I swear it's gotten worse. I swear
It
people
has.
have dug in more.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know social media is a little bit of that, or maybe it just displays it better, or maybe it allows people to dig in more and have that anonymity, the less social interaction to have personal accountability for their viewpoint. But there's definitely a shift that's happened in my lifetime.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I think the algorithms play a big part because if there is a perceived majority consensus, that is what's going to be pushed on whatever platform.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that for not just COVID, but we've seen it over and over and over with different things.
Sure.
I guess the one thing I will say that's interesting, you brought up X Twitter as
Twix.
Twix. Yeah, we call it Twix as the platform where people will dig in, and I agree with you. But the one thing, and I wouldn't say I like the platform, but the one thing that at least that platform has is the ability to have both sides of the story. Because if you go on to like Blue Sky or Reddit, oh, it's not both sides. It is one side. And if you try to, in any way, shape, or form, go against that grain, they just attack you until you leave.
I mean, I don't know. Your experience will vary, I guess. I mean, Twitter for me has definitely. I mean, they do have the community notes, and I know that that's been a hot topic. I know some people hate that, but I don't know if I've watched a lot of the shift over there, and maybe it's weird. Like I get fed a lot of contrarian kind of stuff on Twitter. I don't know if it does that on purpose. It's like this. Facebook used to be this like kind of left wing, like bunch of stuff, right? I got fed like 80%, 90% left leaning kind of stuff. And then it started to shift. Twitter was kind of that way. And now it's kind of shifted over here. And I think some of that has to do with whoever's in power, those people that run those platforms, Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and everybody, TikTok, all those guys, they're just playing up to the whoever's in power. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, we can sit here and disparage that and say that doesn't happen, but it does. I mean, that's just how it is.
Well, there's proof.
Yeah.
It's been proven.
A Democrat gets elected in 2028. I guarantee you there's going to be a radical shift over on Twitter, and there's going to be a big shift over on Facebook again. It'll happen because, they're always afraid of something, of legislatures getting a hold of and changing the narrative and the message. And that, it's interesting because social media, we like to think that humans drive social media, but I think it's more like the social media is driving the people.
Yeah.
Or it has become that way. It may not have started out that way, but it has become that. And people will just parrot a lot of the stuff they see over there. And now with the intrusion of AI, that just throws another big wrench into everything. So this is a fascinating kind of 1-2 punch combo topic tonight, I think.
It is. Really quick with the 15 seconds we've got left, I would like to point out that Orwell predicted all of this.
Well,
become a student of that guy. I mean, you have, in Victory Square in the book 1984, you've got a speaker in Victory Square talking about how they're going to win the war with Eurasia. Mid-speech, he's handed a note that they're now at war with East Asia. He switches on the fly to disparaging East Asia, and the crowd goes with him.
Yeah.
And
again,
that is exactly the kind of thing that happens today.
It is. I've said this before, Dan. It's like Orwell, Alfred Hitchcock, and Stanley Kubrick and Rod Serling are right now writing what happens on Earth. I mean, we are
so true.
We are playing out whatever chaotic script, and maybe a little Stephen King thrown in there. All of whom are just sort of writing what's going on.
Yes, because it's going to end as The Stand in Las Vegas.
Well, I hope it doesn't end with it. I don't like creepy clowns.
Yeah,
We're going to end up in the Dark Tower series.
Or
So
Carrie.
yeah,
oh, good
a
heavens.
lot of Rolands running around.
All right. So that's 2 shows in a row where you've kind of gone with themes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have a theme now that you're going to go with themes.
Not necessarily, but I felt like those questions definitely worked well together.
I agree. I concur.
For sure.
Do
Yeah.
you guys like it better that way? I mean, I might as well get like on-air feedback.
I just talk about what you tell me to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Because I'm trying to save our marriage.
boy. Tell us how you really feel, Daniel. Hold on, let me get my pad of paper here. All right.
Well, you need to get the pad of paper because it's got all your rules for the lightning round. So
I
That's
know.
True. It is,
I know.
It is true-false round time, isn't it?
It is. It is. We got.
All right, folks, here's how this goes. Beth is going to give us 5 true-false questions.
don't sound too excited.
We have, hey, Lindsay and I went 5 for 5 on Monday night.
You guys did.
So that was cool. So we get 5 of these. We have 3 minutes each for her to read the question and for us to talk them out and decide whether or not it's true or false. And then she'll reveal what a liar she is to us. It'll be great. You ready, Mikey?
As ready as I can possibly be.
You ready, Beth?
Yeah.
Go.
The Eiffel Tower grows taller during hot summer weather.
The expansion and contraction of metal.
That would make sense. And the ground as well. I mean, the ground will heave and it will settle. Now, would it do that in the summer or the winter? Well, the metal would tend to contract, but the ground might expand if it freezes, but it wouldn't freeze that much in Paris. Not to that level where you'd have a heaving of the. So I would say I would go with true.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to the unit we had in high school. I did 4 years of shop class in high school, which pissed everybody off because I was an honor roll student, but I also liked building things.
Yeah.
So I'm taking like all the advanced classes, and I'm also going to the wood shop, and that just ticked everybody off. But we did a unit on metal, and yeah, I mean heat makes it malleable. Now, and I think that's the right direction. I think it would expand. I'm true on this one. You, Michael?
I am too. I am true too.
Lock it in?
Yes, sir.
All right, Beth.
It is true.
Yay.
The Eiffel Tower is made of iron, which expands when heated. During hot summer months, thermal expansion can cause the structure to grow by several inches, 4 to 6 to be as precise as possible, depending on the temperature. As the temperatures cool, the metal contracts again. The tower was engineered to account for the seasonal expansion and contraction.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, again,
Excellent.
I was trying to think back to shop. One of the things that we did was we forged these chisels, and part of that is superheating the metal so you can get it to expand in the directions that you want it to expand.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
One thing I thought was interesting when I was doing research for this one is not only does it expand and contract like up and down, but during the hot summer months, it can actually partially lean away from the sun. Like the sun pushes it slightly, not like leaning Tower of Pisa, but you know.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
That makes sense.
Next one,
Yes.
go.
Cold water freezes faster than hot water.
That is See, if you flip it, there was a belief out there that hot water froze faster than cold. You're saying cold freezes faster than hot.
I'm saying cold freezes faster than hot.
Well, it's closer to the freezing temperature mark. Yeah, Michael?
It is. But so obviously something hot, now this depends on other factors, but, there's more energy to lose from hot water or hot liquids. So if you put two liquids in a room, let's say that the temperature was, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and you put, 150 degree water versus 40 degree water in there, you would tend to think that cold water would freeze faster. However, having lived in Minnesota and North Dakota, and we've all done the experiment on the coldest day where it's like 45, 50 below, and you take a pot of boiling or near boiling water and you throw it up in the air and it freezes by the time it hits the ground. We've all seen that happen.
Well, let's science this a minute, Michael. With warm water, you're going to have convection. Does that play a role?
Well, it's so when water evaporates, obviously, there's that heat that it's lost. I'm running through my head. I moved my arm slightly and I had pain shoot up my arm.
Don't do that.
I have to remember,
Brain fog.
arm still broken. So this is one of those, I'm probably overthinking it, but I would say, depending on circumstance, yeah, I would think hot water could actually freeze as fast, if not faster.
Different substance, but I'm thinking, we do a jewelry business here too, and one of the materials we deal with is resin. And with resin, you have to have a certain amount of heat for it to set. That convection moves things along and makes a difference. It's totally different,
Yeah.
but I'm picturing the same thing happening with water. So I'm going to say false, that cold water does not necessarily freeze faster than hot water. You, Michael?
Yeah, I'm going to say that, I think hot water would freeze faster. So,
All right.
All right. So you are both right. The question is false. The effect is called the Mpemba effect. Under certain conditions, hot water can freeze faster than cold water. It doesn't happen every time, but the phenomenon is known as Mpemba. Scientists are still studying the exact mechanisms, but factors like, and you guys called almost all of them, evaporation, convection, dissolved gases may play a role. It's been observed extremely closely. The first time it was recorded was in 1963. But like I said, it's not universal. It doesn't happen every time. It's just
Right.
condition dependent.
yeah.
See, now we're modeling what we just talked about in the other two segments, the whole idea of thinking, talking things out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, guys.
Yeah. That's what's fun about
And
this
Austin just learned something, he says in the chat. Good,
See?
Austin.
Information, education, and entertainment, all wrapped
Yes.
into one here on In the Blind.
And
Yes.
lightning has not struck yet, but we've got a few more minutes.
I know. This
But
thing
it
is
is called
this
the
thing
lightning
is
round. So
It's true. What are we on, number 3?
number 3,
Ready, Mike?
yes.
you're gonna
All
love
right.
this one.
Go.
Okay.
Wombats produce cube-shaped droppings.
I want to say that. I want to say that's true. I feel like I've seen that, but I don't know if it's a wombat. But something does make cubes.
Besides Cubert.
Yeah, besides Cubert, yes.
Yes, besides Tetris pieces. I, not having known much about wombats. What?
Just the look on Michael's face. He's like, I don't even know what to say.
I don't, because this is one of those things, you either know it or you don't. It's hard to talk this one through. I can't science this one out. I have the fancy meteorology degree, and I took all the physics and science courses, and I can tell that, certain conditions, hot water would in fact freeze faster. This is one where I don't know about wombats, man. I'll say it's true because it sounds like it could be. I guess I could see that. I guess every animal has its own Play-Doh factory of poo. So, why not?
I'm trying to figure out how the wombat poo press makes cubes, but I think
bunnies
it's got
make little circles.
It's got this internal razor blade action that just comes down like this as it's coming out and just like
Got this
cuts
molding. Yes.
It might as well. Look, don't we have a rule that if it's ridiculous and we're not sure, it must be true?
Well, I mean, this isn't necessarily from the 16th century, but I'll go with that, Dan. We could, at least for now, we can amend or make a temporary amendment to suggest that.
All right, lock in at true.
Yes.
All right, tell us we're right.
True.
Haha.
Wombats produce cube-shaped droppings and/or poop. Due to
and/or
is
is there something other than poop that they would be dropping?
No, I was.
Do
just
they
trying to
make
be
ice
funny.
cubes?
That would be cool.
It would.
Anyway, due to their unique intestinal elasticity and muscular contractions in the final section of their digestive tract, the cube shape helps prevent the droppings from rolling away, which they use for territory marking.
Nature's weird.
It is.
Yes. Damn, nature, you scary.
Yeah,
Think of the
was new
thousands
on
of years
me,
of
so-
evolution that had to happen there.
to get cube-shaped poop.
Yeah, for the wombat to be like, we got to figure out a way for this stuff not to roll.
If only I could build my own poo fence to let everyone know this is my territory. Behold, gentlemen, the new Wombat 10.0, now with cube-shaped poop. Thanks, God.
I wonder if
Fighting
birds take that and then reinforce the sides of their nests with it.
Just reading the
building
patch
blocks. Back
notes
to
for the latest
Tetris.
Wombat update. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there you go.
Okay. We lost you for a minute.
I
think we
am
lost
here.
everything.
Yeah.
We lost it on our end. I don't know if they lost it on theirs.
Oh, okay.
It was just voice meter reset itself for some
Oh.
unknown
Well, that's
reason.
nice. Oh, my.
But whatever, it's back. So yeah,
So yeah.
nature's weird. All right,
Yeah.
Nature's
number
weird.
4?
That's bottom line.
Yes. Number
Alright.
4, and it's good to know it's still a week of Mondays with our glitches. And
Yep.
Okay.
That
I had
one
to plug
know
in
how
my
to fix that
phone.
software
Battery's at 15%. So there we go. We got to plug that in.
Yay. All right, number 4 before his battery dies. Go.
Esperanto.
No, I plugged it in.
Was you plugged it in. Esperanto was officially adopted as a working language by the League of Nations.
Well, Esperanto is a language, but as I recall, everybody hated it, and it never went anywhere. League of Nations being before the United Nations.
United Nations, yeah.
Not to be confused with the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or the Justice League
Or League of Legends.
or League of Legends.
I'm sure people in there speak Esperanto, which is a fancy word for toxic. Look, man, just because I play Teemo doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Stop it with your Esperanto taunts. Anyway, My phone fell over.
We lost you.
There you
I
are.
don't know. No, I know. I lost my phone. I mean, it fell over.
This was a movement to have one universal language for the world. I just don't remember if the Justice League was involved or not.
Yeah, I think Green Lantern was for it, but I don't know if everyone else was.
I think Aquaman was not in favor.
Oh no, no! Aquaman is only about Atlantis and what goes on under the sea.
Yep.
Especially after losing his hand. So I would say it's false. I although I don't know for sure, because I know it's a language, but was it adopted by the League of Nations? Well, it does sound like something they do.
It sounds like something the National Football League would do.
Yeah.
I'm going to be contrarian and go true. So this will not be a 5 for 5 night for one of us.
Right.
Assuming he's still locked in at false.
Yeah, I'll just for funsies, and because I really don't know, I'm going to say it's false.
And I'll go with true. Who's right?
Michael is right.
Okay.
False.
Yay!
Esperanto is a constructed international language. You're right, Dan. It was created in 1887 by
LL
Zaman-
Bean?
Cool J.
No. L.L. Zamenhof.
Because
Sounds
he's
like
that
a
type
writer.
of guy.
It was to promote
hot.
a global communication. It literally means one who hopes. In the 20s, that's when the big push and the advocates petitioned the League of Nations to adopt it as an international working language. It gained some serious attention and support, but was ultimately rejected. It was never an official language.
Okay. Now, I knew that everybody hated the idea, but
There are still people who speak it, though. I found that out when I was doing the research for this.
but I could totally understand the League of Legends adopting it anyways, because what organization does what the people want?
Yeah,
that's where I
true.
was. That's where I was on true.
Yeah,
I believe NAR speaks that language. League of
Yes.
Legends.
All right, last one.
yes.
All right, go.
Are you ready to go out in a bang?
Yeah,
Okay. Excuse me.
careful.
Okay. Got choked up over this one. In the 18th century in England, doctors documented a woman who claimed to give birth to rabbits, and they believed her.
So this isn't a whether or not it really happened. The question is it true that they believed her?
In 18th century England, doctors documented a woman who claimed to give birth to rabbits, and they believed her.
So the English
18th
love their
century,
rabbits.
you say.
Yes.
England, you say. True.
I'm inclined to go true as well. So we have pet rabbits here. Pet rabbits aren't as common in the United States. It's more common that people get them for like 2 weeks and then turn them loose because they're idiots. But in England, they understand them, and they're a common pet. But you would hope that would mean that doctors would realize that a woman didn't really give birth to them. However, these are the same doctors that wore the KFC chicken masks.
Yes. The plague doctors.
So I think you have to factor that in. So to me, it's kind of like an Easter special. You've got the chicks and you've got the rabbits, and I think they all line up,
Yes.
Somewhere in there is a marshmallow peep.
and they probably
Oh,
had another woman
gross.
who laid eggs. So it's stupid enough it has to be true. I mean, if baby cages hanging out the 51st floor are true, this has to be true. I don't know. You, Michael?
I gave birth to a bunny rabbit. Look here. It looks like she did. Oh, my God, I say she did give birth to it. I believe her. Well, why not? Like, how does that? Like, what's the genesis? How does a doctor believe? Like, you want to be? It has to be false just because humanity can't be that stupid, which means it has to be true.
She was a witch or something. That's what they figured.
We got to burn her at the stake. She gave birth to a bunny, and bunnies are evil. No, they're not. They're fluffy and cuddly. That's why they're evil. They're the tool of the devil. They're the tool of Asmodeus, for God's sake. Burn her at the stake, I'll tell you right now. When Big Ben strikes 9, we burn her. Big Ben hasn't even been created yet. Oh, who cares? We believe anything. We believe a human can give birth to rabbits. Why not something that hasn't even happened yet? All right. Well, that seems logical to me.
Having pet rabbits, I can tell you that there are times when they're evil. So it is plausible. I'm going with true. It's ridiculous.
True.
It has to be true.
True.
Unfortunately, it is true.
Yay!
5 for 5 for Mike. Oh.
Brace yourselves for the blurb here.
Oh no! I'm gonna hide.
There's a blurb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hide under the desk.
Okay. Yes. In 1726, Mary Toft convinced several physicians that she was giving birth to rabbit parts. With the help of an assistant, she inserted animal
Hey,
remains.
Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my vag. Again?
She inserted animal remains prior to the examinations, allowing the doctors to quote-unquote observe the supposed deliveries. She claimed that being startled by a rabbit during her pregnancy caused the transformation, a belief tied to the then popular theory of maternal impression. The hoax was eventually exposed, causing public scandal and embarrassment for the physicians that were involved. But they actually wrote multiple papers and did like dissertations and all sorts of stuff about this, about the woman who gave birth to rabbits.
Exposed being the key word in many ways there.
But see, the part that got me was it wasn't just like one physician or one time. She kept this up over the course of multiple instances where they were
and you say that bunny came from where?
Yeah. And then
Down
she was
there.
rebirthing them.
Dr. Alistair Wellington here to report that, yes, in fact, I do believe, based upon all evidence that's available here, that she did, in fact, give birth to a rabbit straight from her fanny, as it were. Yes, it's a medical term over here across the pond, actually. Yes. I can't imagine why the United States why the U.S. broke away from us. Why would they do that?
This sounds like something Richard Gere would have tried.
This sounds like something that Family Guy should have talked about. So, do you want to know what gave it away?
I
don't know. Do we?
I don't know. What, Peter? Want to see my vaginas? I don't know.
One of the instances, closer examination revealed that there were marks from a chef, like kitchen knife marks, on the rabbit parts. So that's how it got exposed.
Wahoo, we're down the rabbit hole.
Or the rabbit went down
the whole new meaning
other
to
hole.
the rabbit hole.
Thank you, Wahoo. You win the chat tonight.
Yeah. Do you? Do you win? Did any of us win?
Do you all feel more enlightened now? Or just sad for humanity?
I always leave the show sad for humanity.
Why? If aliens stopped by this planet, why didn't they just blow it up? Why? Why did they leave it under what? I'm sorry, they're too stupid to blow up. I agree. It would be a waste of our weapons. Like,
your alien sounded gay right there, by the way.
Well, how do you think they reproduce?
Okay.
Man.
Everything is different on planet Datron.
It sounded like the alien from, what is that, American Dad?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
upstairs. I'm in the attic. Oh, hi, Stan.
Exactly. All right. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
Giggity, giggity, goo. All right. Hey there, Peter.
Yeah.
I really was trying to get Dan to throw his glasses this time,
I
but
just took them off gently
yeah.
and rubbed my face and
Hey,
cried a little.
hey. Well, Rocky and Bullwinkle will never quite have the same appearance
think?
to me anymore. Again.
You'll never say that the same way again.
Oh, the other day, it's like I don't know, man. I don't know. This show is.
Just wait
I'm
for
glad.
the Cadbury cream egg commercials this year.
Oh, God.
I think my. Oh God. What's in those eggs? Oh, jeez.
Bok, 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 bok.
Oh,
That's what the doctor was doing with the chicken mask on while he
Yes.
delivered the
Yes, the bunny
they
lays
delivered
the
the
egg and the
bunnies.
human lays the bunny. See, it
You
all
know,
makes sense
human
now.
lays the
I-
bunny.
I
Births the bunny.
how
Human
apropos.
lays the bunny. Did this just get into like a furry discussion now?
All right, for the next episode of In the Blind, dress as your favorite animal and anthropomorphize that. Yes. I wonder. I've always wondered about Easter.
Cosplay
Why?
edition.
Yeah. Why do bunnies lay eggs on Easter when they don't actually lay eggs? I don't understand. I don't know. There's a lot that's confusing.
It's the miracle of the resurrection, Michael. Just leave
Oh.
it at that.
Okay. That's right. Jesus died for our sins in that helicopter crash. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes. The stone was rolled away and it revealed a bunny giving birth to an egg.
And after the woman gave birth to the bunny, and Jesus is standing there going, "I went through all this for what?"
Congratulations, madam. It's a bunny.
What?
Yes, you gave birth to a bunny. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, it's a fluffy little rabbit. We shall call him Bugs.
Peter, because we're talking in the UK. That's the
Peter
origin
Rabbit.
story of Peter
Oh,
Rabbit.
Yeah.
No, not Roger.
Not Roger.
No, he's from Hollywood.
That's different.
Yeah. I don't even
Yeah,
want to
he,
know how that was birthed.
Yeah, he was who voiced I'm losing my mind. The one who voiced Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, I should know that, but I.
Anyways, she's the mother.
Yes,
Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner, thank you.
Kathleen. Yes.
Yes. All right, well this was fun. Thank you for making us laugh.
Yes, I
Thank
needed
you for
that
making us
because
simultaneously sad for
yeah,
the human race. But it kind of makes me feel okay though, because the ridiculousness that we have now, it just proves that it has always been there.
That's true.
Maybe a little
True.
less digital, but it's always been there.
Did the dopamine and the serotonin help you at all, Michael?
it definitely overcame the rage and the sadness of the fact that a piece of equipment is probably dead in my studio. So that's good news. Oh my goodness, it's been an interesting week.
It has. Well, listen, we'll wrap it up for tonight. We'll be back here on this channel on Monday.
Tell everybody about the daily trivia.
Oh, yes. Two things, actually. First, go to itbshow.com. itbshow.com. Sign up for the show notes, because Beth sends them out so you get to see her research. You get to see all of the prompts that she has for us if we get too far off track, so she can reel us back in. It's just everything she's got in front of you. It all goes in front of her. It all goes into an email.
And
so
if
do
you
that.
want more information about like the cube-shaped poop or
Yep.
the woman who gave birth to rabbits, I have links.
Yeah, she has it all. The other thing is on the channel here, if you go to the community tab, because we have so much fun with this true false stuff, every day you guys are getting a true false question now. So,
Which is awesome.
yes. So you go back to the community tab every day, you'll have a new question, and with that new question, the answer to the previous day's question is revealed. So it's incentive for you to come back every single day. But it's fun. You get to play along, so do that too. And if you really love what we do while you're over on itbshow.com, you can also leave us a donation, which we would appreciate because we are not anywhere near monetized on this channel yet. But you can also help us.
Should be, because it's a lot of fun.
It is. And you can also help us get there by sharing the show with everybody you've ever met in your life.
Yes.
Go knock on your neighbor's door, tell them to tune in, all that kind of stuff, because we need more subscribers, please and thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's everything. You, Michael?
I believe that is everything for now. I am left with a lot of questions, more than I came into this show with, but we'll try to find those answers.
All right. We'll work it out backstage. All right. We'll be back here Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. You can tune into Michael's channel tomorrow for the Phoenix weather discussion. You can tune into my channel, TCF.
Maybe.
For court time, maybe. For court time, all those links are actually in the channel description and probably linked in this video too, so you can find them. Anyways, have a good night, everybody. See ya.
Bye.